Hello, dear friends. This is Kira Rudik, member of Ukrainian parliament and leader of the political party Holos. I'm still talking to you from Kyiv, Ukraine. So, Ukraine is freezing. Why is everyone so skeptical about last week's meeting in Paris and the influence of the events in Venezuela and Iran on the war in Ukraine? We will be talking about all of this today. Before we start, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support. So, you may see that I have changed the location a little bit. I have done it because this is simply the warmest part of my home. As all Ukrainians right now, I'm going through the outages, water outage, energy outages, and heating outages. Situation is really tough. So for the last couple of days, I only had electricity for maybe 5 hours total. So I have many different batteries and diesel generator to continue operating, but it is very hard, especially that when the electricity is there and it's very unpredictable right now, you have to throw away everything that you're doing and go ahead and do all the home chores that you have, like start your washing machine, try to cook something, etc., etc., especially because washing machines and stove, everything else, they are really eating lots of energy, and this is why you better do it when you have like real electricity, not the electricity through the generator or through the batteries. Many families in Ukraine are suffering through this too, and it's easier to say where there is no energy outages. So it is indeed very hard. Especially imagine living in the buildings with the elevators, where you somehow have to get to 10th, 15th floors. Imagine trying to survive this when you have little kids, when you are elderly and without help. So right now we are trying to be our best with the people who need our support and dedicate all the spare time that we have in our hands, trying to help each other with the warm food, warm clothes, charging the batteries, supporting each other the way we can. Especially that for the last 3 or 4 days, the temperature in Ukraine is like minus 15. Today it was minus 17 at night. So you can imagine how everything got really complicated. So situation is indeed very hard, and we are dedicating our resources on helping people, especially the ones who need the help the most. It's elderly people without any relatives. This is how we spent our weekend, and we will continue doing that because, again, Parliament continues working. Nobody cancels your job just because it's minus 17 outside and you didn't have electricity and heating and running water. So let's see, we just hope that this cold snap will not last longer, and we will be able to survive for a couple of weeks. At the end, we are almost halfway done through the winter, so this is how I'm making other people feel better, and this is what my hopes are. So coming back to political news, last week there was a meeting in Paris, and everyone was very excited that there were discussions on how our international partners will help us go with and deal with the next war that will happen. So how there would be international troops on the ground in Ukraine, how there will be collaboration between countries in terms of security and defense, etc., etc. However, inside Ukraine, it didn't have the impact that everybody hoped, because people were asking the normal, simple question that these are all the assurances for the next war, which may or may not work. And what about this current war, which is still unclear on how to stop Putin now, especially that all the outages that we are experiencing is because of Russia's attacks on our energy infrastructure. and just simple constant destroying of our energy grid and energy production and our ability to continue surviving. Especially last week, Russia has launched their so-called Oreshnik missile, which is considered to be like this super new missile. They launched it really close to NATO's border, to Lviv, to basically threaten the coalition of the willing. If there was a ceasefire, as President Trump and many others offered at the beginning of the last year, right now our situation would have been absolutely different. Unfortunately, nobody has the power to stop Putin and pressure him into the ceasefire. This is why all the talks and discussions about future collaboration and future protection from future wars, they don't have real weight, because people are asking, but what about this war? It honestly sounds right now like two people in their 20s discussing that if they're single by the age of 50, then they will get married and have family, etc. But when they are 20, it's very easy to give out those promises. And unfortunately, we look at these discussions exactly like that, that it seems that those promises are given because there is a hope that they will not have to be executed on. And unfortunately, this is not something that we can afford right now. But good that these meetings happen and the coalition is discussing. It's just inside Ukraine, it doesn't have lots of wow and moral support. Also, there were events in Venezuela and Iran, Russia's friends and allies. We have seen, obviously, regime change in Venezuela and massive protests in Iran. If you ask Ukrainian on the street what does they know about Iran, they would tell you that they are our enemies because we are under attack every night by Iranian drones Shaheds. So we are more than anybody else interested in regime change in Iran, and we obviously support people who are trying to do that. We understand that right now there is a fall of the regimes that are supporting Russia and that Russia is supporting. So obviously the hope is that changes in Venezuela and changes in Iran, let's hope, will affect Russia's ability to first be so active on the political arena internationally, because right now everybody who is working with Russia and supported by Russia have to think twice, but also they will be cut of the resources. And the push that have been done by the United States in Venezuela can actually influence the price of the oil and can actually pressure Russia into concentrating on how to end the war and not how to continue the war. Cutting them of the resources is one of the real ways of ending the war. And we have been saying it since the day one. So maybe it's not happening the way we wanted, like by the sanctions, but maybe it's just happening some other way. So if we are looking at some hopeful events, Venezuela may be just that. That's it for now. Talk to you later. Thank you and goodbye.